Guess what? You know what's going on. This right is Virgo season. Here's a song. Tonight you know what I'm going to say. I got a channeler with me today. And really tonight, yes, it's early evening. Two earth signs, you know what we're retrieving. Nothing but real physical reality. And you know we're dealing in duality. She's going to channel and give you some live readings. Don't you understand? Some are just pleading spiritually what is going on in our world. That's why you got the spiritual boy and girl to give you the answers. The lyrical prior dancer, I want you to know these words are just romancing. That's right, it's my birthday week, so I'm spitting it off the top rope, unique like the Iron Sheik. It's not wrestling, you see, but in the cosmos, we gotta fight B. We're spiritual warriors, and you know what's rocking tonight. The podcast, and there we're dropping knowledge is love, and what's for you? Miss Krissy is here. She's gonna channel for you. Ooh, knowledge. What's up, y'all? Oh my goodness, I think I switched the camera and the thing. It is Eric Taylor, BigEAstro, with my Knowledge is Love Astrology podcast, episode 378. And I present to you tonight, powerful lady. She's a Capricorn. We're going to talk about her placements. She is a channeler, does retreats, and she's an intuitive energy healer. I present to you tonight, Miss Krissy. How are you, Krissy?
Hi, Eric. I'm great. How are you doing today?
Oh my God, I am so excited and glad to have you on. And I'm trying to see if I can get our thing situated a little differently, but that's all right. It's a little
This is
something different
perfect.
tonight. I'll make it work. So, I'm doing well. And actually, I'm kind of dealing with a lot because this Pisces lunar eclipse energy from yesterday. I'm a Virgo, and for any of the mutable signs out there, Gemini, Virgo, Sag, Pisces, it may be creating some stuff, but I feel good, and I'm so glad to have you on. Can you explain to the collective, first off, what is channeling? How do you do it, and what is channeling? What does it mean to channel?
For sure. So first, I do have to say that this eclipse has not just for mutable signs, for
Oh,
all
everybody, I
signs.
know. It's a lot, right? It's
A
heavy.
little bit, yeah, a little bit of a loop thrower, haymaker. Still going through it this morning and this evening. But so channeling is when we tap into a specific frequency and allow that energy to flow through us. We attune to that energy, whether it's through speaking, whether it's through writing, drawing, musical endeavors, creative endeavors. When we're allowing energy to flow through us, we are channeling. So you have
Mm.
incredible people who are musicians channeling. That's why live music can feel so powerful, because they are channeling energy through and bringing it to everybody. So there are so many things that we can do with channeling, but it truly is just a matching up of a syncing of frequencies within the brain that allows us to bring messages through in whatever form.
I love that, and it's such a great Capricorn practical way to break it down. But I want to ask you, so sometimes for you, when you're channeling, is it different when you're doing it with or for a client, or if you're doing it yourself? Like if you're doing it yourself, can you tap in maybe to the Akashic or the spirit guides? And then if you're doing it with a client, are you tapping into their spirit guides, but sometimes do relatives and ancestors come through?
Oh my gosh, Eric, I love this question. Yes. So it is very different to channel for yourself
Okay.
versus a client. When I'm channeling for myself, I tend to be needing and guidance, and sometimes it's emotional, right? When we're reading for ourselves, our emotional state of mind, our ego can all kind of get in the way. So channeling something that's a higher energy than us is very helpful and very, very much easier to remove the energy of ego from it. So when I'm
Mm.
channeling for myself, I like to either call in my higher self, literally my higher self energy, to come through to give me that higher perspective of the situation and
Mhm.
full understanding of it. rather than something, a spirit guide, we can tend to, maybe our ego can overlay on top of it
Okay.
and kind of change the message. However, when we're reading for a client, when I'm channeling for a client, I typically do. I call in their spirit guides, their higher self, and that energy comes down and through, and it gives them their perspective. Since I'm not attached to it, right? It's much easier to
Right. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, because when we're learning, the whole process of learning how to channel for yourself and for others is about learning how to have an unbiased view on things,
Mm.
and then really removing your own personal biases, from it.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Because
right.
you're just sort of the conduit, right? You're receiving the message and the insight. Really, you're like Mercury. You're delivering the message to the client, right?
That's it. That's it. It's beautiful to do it that way. And truthfully, so I'll say this is funny. I went to psychic school, right? And I can read psychically, but I can also channel. And so there are different things that I like to deliver with each method, right? With
Ah,
psychic reading, I can do particular things or sensitive subjects more because I have more control of how they're delivered, and time frames. I can lean into that a little bit more easily when I'm looking at it from the psychic energy side of it. And then when I'm channeling, we're bringing through a lot more transformative messages. The
mm,
energy of it is also coming through and bringing with it change and activations and clearings for the person that I'm reading for.
I love
When
it.
I was is in psychic school, it was so much easier to allow we'll call it a disassociation, right? Because when we're channeling, we're letting our consciousness step back and
Okay.
allowing something, the spirit guide, the counsel, the higher self of someone else to step through to deliver the message. So it makes it a little less cumbersome on our ego, right? When we're like, oh, it's just somebody else doing it.
Right, right. So now I have a funny question. And hello to everybody. We're going to get to you in the chat. You can put your comments or questions in. Krissy will get to you guys. But I'm kind of curious, right? Have you, in a reading for a client, ever had a relative of theirs come in that maybe they weren't ready or didn't necessarily want to hear from?
Yeah, I do have that. And one of the things with mediumship is that when we're having a reading and we're doing that, the energy that is coming through for healing. So one of the things I like to remind people is that when we're working with mediums, psychic mediums, or channelers, or anybody like that, your channeler or medium or psychic can only bring through messages of where they've hit in their spiritual development and consciousness development, right?
Okay.
So that's where sometimes we have people who come through and who have readings, and they're like, this person came through and they're so angry at you and they're so nasty, and have a very tainted view of that, because
Mhm.
they're essentially calling in is like the fourth dimensional ego shell, right? They're calling in the personality of the person that was
Ah,
here,
see, that's
rather than
interesting.
the
Okay.
actual soul, that soul that has gone through the healing process, who has elevated and is looking at things from a higher perspective, who understands what their actions were, but is coming to deliver a message for healing, right? And so in this whole process, yes, I have had people not want to talk to the person that was there
Mm, okay.
because, I had someone whose father came through, and it was really, it was hard, and the father basically wanted to, tell her to release it, to let him go, to let go the pain that he caused her, and that, he apologized for it, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
very, very hard for
That's
her.
deep.
Yeah, it was very hard to receive that, because it's a it's something that we are in the process here of being human, and humans have a lot of emotions, and a lot of them are tied to our parents, to our grandparents, to our families, and so it's a powerful blend of things. And yeah, and with mediumship, when you open the door and people are like, oh, they're here, they're listening, I have this avenue to get through. a lot of times they do like to make themselves known that
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
here and they're around them and they're supporting them, and that, you know, maybe the relationship wasn't the best on Earth's side, but that they're trying to repair that from an energetic side.
Mm.
And that's where a lot of us are being presented with these things to clear from our system. And astrology definitely has a big play in that, doesn't it?
Yes, it does because, remember, as I explained to you and all my clients, right, the birth chart is the map of your life, the remembrance of your soul. So I'm just kind of like decoding through these symbols and these energies, these light-bodied energies and frequencies and vibrations that are lined as a snapshot of the cosmos when you incarnated, right, and through your mother's womb, the portal. And so it's like I'm almost like a spiritual teacher, psychologist, and tour guide, right? A soul tour guide, I should say, because I'm helping you to remember what you already chose. And sometimes people are already in divine alignment. Sometimes people need little adjustments. And sometimes people could be like way out of whack or way off. But always you're going to get revelation and truth and things to help you with the past, present, and future. So I really love it. And I love how it connects. So I want to go to the chat, but I got one more question. This is more just directed with you. Um, have you tapped in, I don't know if both your parents are still here, but have you tapped into your grandparents or received any messages that maybe were beneficial to you along the way? And also, when did this Krissy channeling stuff, when did this all come online for you?
So these go hand in hand, these questions, right? So
Okay.
I had my spiritual awakening about 2 years ago and really started to access more. While I was always connected, I had no clue, right? You got no clue until you figure it out, right? And I didn't figure it out until about 2 years ago when I experienced my grandmother coming to me
Yeah.
and connecting with her energy and feeling that for the first time. And so
Mm.
yes, she was I had a lot of times where they tried to shake me awake and it didn't work. So it was like my grandma was like, "Listen, boys, get back. It's my turn now."
Was it very, but in a sense, was it very overwhelming?
At the beginning, before like looking back now, before I actually like woke up, right, and understood what was happening, that I was connecting to the other side, it was very intense. It was
Yeah.
very challenging, very abrupt, a lot of like shaking, right? Shaking awake, experiencing things with my people eyes, seeing things all the time, I struggled a lot with it.
Okay.
And so it wasn't until I had the gentle experience with my grandma when she was like, "Get back, it's my turn to try," that I really was able to embrace it and open up to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So with the spiritual awakening, was it kind of like, did that kind of push you to, I assume maybe you had more of a 3D matrix job, and did that kind of push you to the point where you started getting all spiritual hungry and then you decided and awakened and saw these gifts and then was like, wait a minute, I could do this for a living?
Absolutely, yes. So it was a process. So I went through um waking up, and I was a data analyst at that time, right? I was a data analyst.
Wait, I'm gonna make them laugh. Okay, so just this is perfect. So as she's going through this, she's an Aquarius rising, a Capricorn sun in the 12th house, right? So that business and the numbers, import, export, data and information, and just in the spiritual realm. And then the Sag moon, which is also connected to finance and a lot of wisdom and teaching in the 11th house. So okay, now go ahead, because that gives them a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, so that I was balancing being a data analyst and experiencing this like on the side as a hobby, having fun, dabbling in it, doing readings for friends and things like that, exploring, taking classes, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh wow, I can do this for like people want to pay me for this. Okay, sure, great. Okay, cool. And then slowly it was because the Capricorn in me was like, I need to have this structured, rigid. I cannot like I need
Oh
to
no. And
be
you're real strong Capricorn. So I know you were like, I gotta be organized. This has gotta make sense, right?
that's it. So I developed a plan, and then they got to the point where they're like, you hit the plan, you did the thing that you said you were going to do, where you had enough sessions and this and that, and so they're like, so you're gonna go now, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? I think we got a good thing going. I think we got a good, but no, it got to the point where it was time. It was time for me to start to really embrace this and to be able to help more people and to find work-life balance and be able to spend more time with my family, my kids, and experience some of this, balance of 5D consciousness and new earth energy that we talk about, right? And how do we live in that? How do we create? How do we be here and celebrate in spirit? And so
That's
we
beautiful.
shifted into that. Yeah.
I love that. So you want to read some of the comments and questions, see who's here tonight with us?
Yes, yes, yes. So hi, my friends. Okay. Hi, Laura. Hi, GL. Oh, hey, Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix. Yeah, Eric just read that for me, right?
Yeah, Aquarius rising,
The big
Capricorn
three.
sun in the 12th house, and that
Yeah,
Sag moon in the 11th.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically that just tells the audience that Krissy is an old soul.
Interesting. Cool.
Yes, old
Cool.
soul.
I have to say, Eric, your reading that I did with you the other week it just blew my mind.
Oh,
And
thank you.
one of the things that you had said was that my kids, he's like, you're like, it's in my chart. It's in your chart. Your kids won't listen to you. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
And I
When
still,
I told her that, and I was like, because I don't know how it's going to go, but that's what I saw, so I had to tell her, and she was like, "What? Yeah, they don't."
yeah, they do not. And I'm like, why did I keep asking like myself, why did I do that to myself? But
I
I
think, but I
did.
think there's something in there because it's in 11th and 5th house access, because the 5th house is Gemini and the children for you. I think it's something about kind of like you full circle, kind of like communicating to young Krissy, like when she was a child. And then that may activate something to get them to start to, but just the way it's aligned, yeah, they're not going to really, it's what your soul chose. So I think if your soul chose it, there's for a reason, because you know that they are here to teach you lessons and you're their guide. But then maybe you got to go back and teach young Krissy some lessons.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
you
That
know.
hits so hard when you say it, and it's powerful. It is powerful to be able to work with the kids and to heal that. And I see that in working with my daughter and things like that, that I am healing little Krissy as I'm
Yes.
working with my kids. And
That's
that,
what parenthood's about, right? I mean, oh my gosh, there's times when I'm talking to my boys and I'm like, wow, you're talking to little Eric. Like for real, you are. Like it's something that's repeating so that you could heal yourself. And what it really is? It's like soul lineage work. When you are an awakened parent, you can really get in there deep. I know sometimes like after you're working with clients and then all of a sudden you're like kind of back in the 3D, right? Talking to your kids. And then all of a sudden you realize that something's coming up that's like, yeah, this is something I was seeing or dealing with in the other side, right? It's
yeah,
powerful.
that it is. That it is.
Okay, let's see if any other questions or comments.
So Phoenix says, Neptune has transited in my first house with my Aries rising, and my intuition is off the chain. Things coming to me like never before. Cool beans so far. That's great.
Yes.
That's very
And,
exciting.
and you know what's great? This is the time, I think, honestly, for you, Phoenix, to really tap in, because Krissy is starting a new course, right? With a guest that I've had on before, a dear friend of both of ours, and with Miss Rebecca Vidanoff. Do you want to share with the audience what type of course are you offering that maybe would help somebody like Phoenix with Neptune on the ascendant, which I live with all the time, so I kind of know what she's going through. It's wild out here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're starting a school. It's called the Channeling School, and we have a course called Becoming the Channel. The first level that will start on September 15th is all about getting you acclimated and basically starting your process of truly becoming the channel. We are all channels. We all have access to the ability to trans channel,
Yeah.
to call in information from higher dimensional planes. So we're giving framework to help people become that, to embody that energy, and also to really work on their own personal psychic skills and gifts. Like channeling
Mm,
is a spectrum, right? So from here to here, we go from like conscious channeling all the way down to trance channeling. And so just being able to access information and receive that, filter through it, learning discernment, learning what energies are coming through, how to read different energies within the body, how to get acclimated with everything. It's so important in our channeling journey. And so by the end of it, we're working to get you to feel confident in your own skills and your gifts, and learning to feel comfortable pulling that information in for yourself, because at the end of the day, we all want to be good stewards, right? We all want to leave this place very well equipped for the future, and that means getting as many people on board and acclimated to their own spiritual gifts as possible. So
I,
we're
I
really excited.
love that. I love that. It's so perfect. And the way that you explain it, it's so just clear and direct, because exactly what's going on right now, as we're sort of going through this ascension and we have these M class and X class solar flares literally changing the DNA of Gaia Mother Earth and our bodies as well. We've got Pluto trining Uranus, and they're both retrograde, Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini. And Uranus brings in the higher thought and consciousness, and Gemini is the ears, the hands, the nervous system. So, quite literally, right now, you guys, mental telepathy could be coming on. All the clairs can be getting activated in different people at different times based on your Akashic and numerology and astrology placements. Uranus being in Gemini, it is, I mean, yeah, like clairaudient, all the clairs. I don't even know all the names for them, but all the clairs. But are you seeing this sometimes with some of your clients and or even other channelers where people are, I don't know, is it, I don't even know if it's easier to access, but the energy is like coming in like hot and heavy, right?
Absolutely. So we're seeing it with a lot of people right now. A lot of people are showing up and being like, what is happening? I know something's happening. I just know all of these things. And even people who are still very much in the 3D are
Yes.
starting, they're like, what is happening? Like, can you turn it off? Right? Can you shut it down? Well, earplugs stop. Like they're trying to get this to be quiet because it's so loud. You
It's
can't
real.
we can't turn it down. We can't shove it away. The best thing that we can do is learn how to use it. And but yes, it's been very, very powerful. A lot of people coming online with telepathy, a lot of people coming online, not just with human to human telepathy, but like human, like receiving it from information from their guides, from higher energies, from interdimensional beings and things like that. We are seeing so much more of this direct messaging essentially.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful because it's giving people an opportunity to step into their path. And a lot of it, interestingly enough, what's kind of coming up as we're talking through this is like when we're looking at the stage of what's happening on Earth and all of the massive shifts and changes that are happening, the inception and true like massive adoption of things like AI, people just kind of outsourcing their own sovereignty to everyone else. The energy is trying to get people to like take it back,
Yes.
right? Take it back, take it back.
Because we're the aliens, we're the AI, right? I mean, I think, look, there's a happy medium, right? I'm always going to be innovative and futuristic and embrace advances. But I think sometimes what people think is new is really old, right? Like you may say in pharmaceuticals and medicine, right? They don't realize that this Western medicine is fairly new, right? We were dealing with what they quote unquote called witch medicine women and medicine men, right? And in tribes and in villages, they were using the herbs and the plants forever. So think of it like that, but also, going from the 12 strand to 2 strand DNA, from the Anunnaki and shutting it off, our telomeres are starting to really awaken. And Uranus and Gemini is literally going to bring in the next 7 years, right? It will come back fully in April of 2026. I tell people all the time, Krissy, 2025 is coming attraction, sneak preview of the movie theater. 2026, oh, the movie is starting and it's coming in like gangbusters. By the time we hit April, all these planets are going to be in their new signs for the remainder. Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Pluto Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini, and then even as we get further into 2026, but next summer, we're also going to get into the Aquarius North Node. And that's going to bring us to a whole nother level in 26 and 27, So do you want to give everybody where they can sign up for that course? And then maybe we can do some channeling?
Yeah, sure, of course. So you can visit me at enlightenedchannels.com, and I'm on all social media at enlightened.channels, and so you can get that from my link tree, and there's a big old link for becoming the channel right
Okay.
there.
Yeah, because everything's down below, but if you guys want to click on her link tree, and in the link tree is your link for the becoming a channel.
Exactly. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we'll have not just the class, but there'll be a community as well to help everybody really build and foster this connection between each other, group practicing with, practicing reading each other too, because
Oh,
it's
I like it. Make it tangible, right?
that's it. So many people are living on islands right now. We live on islands. We watch things on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram to like help ourselves connect more deeply to ourselves.
Yeah.
But we're all stepping into this age and time where we need to make these connections on a deeper level, on a personal level with others who are also on the same wavelength, right? We are surrounded, so many of us, by, vacuums. And it's so important to build that community and to find people. And that's really been the most magical part of this whole experience for me, is connecting to people all over the world and being able to really tap in and meet people who are on the same wavelength.
I love that. And see, you and Rebecca are like me in that sense. To me, I'm about touching the people, and to get face to face, even if you're not physically in face to face on the computer, not where I'm just talking on a IG or TikTok or YouTube, when you can actually meet up like in a Zoom or different, Google Meets and talk to people. It is so helpful and beneficial and informative. But you're right. That's how you develop real tribe and community. And it's the best way to learn.
Yes.
It's so crucial and so important. So I thank you for doing that, because that's what's really important. Because I don't think I know people, even if they're working to be in the 4D and 5D, but for people who are still in the grind, and I'm not knocking it, because hey, we all got to pay bills, but still in that, like, paycheck to paycheck and 9 to 5 and clocking in, and can I get a day off and all that. It's not easy, because it's not like they're not feeling these energies. They're feeling the chaos in the world, the media, the television. That's why I tell them, you got to quiet the noise any way you can, and not just turning off the television. Even for us as healers and light workers, I tell people, I got to learn to, like, when I put up my post, then like put the thing down, right? Because you can get caught up in swiping and seeing, because you may know some other people or other healers' contents. And by the way, Krissy is a great follow, so go follow her. You're on Instagram, TikTok, and
YouTube, all at Enlightened.
Okay, yeah, go follow her. She's a great follow. Go subscribe, right? And make sure you guys, if you're new here, so make sure you're subscribing. Hit the like button to this episode, but make sure you're subscribing. I'm about to get to 10K. I'm trying to get there by my birthday, so let's go, baby.
When's your birthday, Eric?
My birthday's Wednesday.
Nice. That's amazing. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I'm so excited. And, and I'm that Cap Moon. So, we connect on that Capricorn stuff. And just like a Cap Moon, I'll be working on my birthday. I'll be on a podcast on my birthday with legendary astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be on his channel. He invited me on my birthday to Numbers and You. So I'm really honored and excited. It'll be really cool. So.
That's great. That's great. Eric, do you have any courses that you teach, or any ways?
Yes. So I teach one-on-one all the time for astrology, and I have my Astro Life Transformational Program. It's a 5-month program that I teach. That's one-on-one as well. But I am going to be teaching my basic foundation astrology course again. It's either going to be late fall or early winter. I'm just right now in the midst of trying to bang out my first astrology book, and then my NDE book. So, between that and all the other stuff I'm doing. But yeah, I've taught it twice now. And so I'm going to be teaching again, but I always teach one-on-one. because one thing I like about one-on-one, just like you were talking about earlier, for me, astrology is literally another language, and it's so much to memorize. And I love it in the group setting, but with one-on-one, I let the person know what's really nice is that like I can really kind of just like teach to the one person, because each person is different, right? When I'm teaching to a group, it's going to be feeding the mass, right? The whole. But when it's one-on-one and I know your alignments and like, oh, you're a Cancer, you're Sag moon, and you're a Taurus rising, then I even know just how to teach to you one-on-one. So it's really, I make it very juicy and yummy and personal for that one-on-one. Now for the group, it's great too, because it's just you also learn off your other classmates, right? Someone may ask a question that you're afraid or not thinking of to ask, and then I answer it, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's how that makes sense to me. Because you really have to, like, I like to pour the cement, right? You got to learn the signs, then the house, then the planets, then the houses, and all the different rules with it. It's very intricate, and it's just memorization.
So interesting. I love that you bring up the fact that you are teaching to the individual sign, like that their chart, the way
Oh
that
yeah, that's what I can do one-on-one, and it's
powerful.
powerful. Yeah, no, it's very powerful, because think of it like this, right? You in Aquarius rising, that means you've got Aries in the third house. So your reading, writing, learning, communication style is very different if someone had Pisces or Capricorn or Scorpio in the third house, right? So with you with the Aries, you're gonna potentially need sometimes more just quick bite-sized information. If someone is giving you too much at one time, that's going to like throw you off. You'd rather have quicker bite-sized stuff, and you're like, okay, I got that. Okay, now I got this, and then go, right?
That's
And
incredible.
yeah,
Yes.
that's how you
Otherwise,
need it,
I
right? You need
sit
it like
back
that,
and then,
right?
like, I'm, like, in La La Land, like, "Oh, they're still talking. Oh, no.
Yeah,
What
you need
happened? What
quick,
did I miss?"
and you need it to like kind of like pow, like not like it's not overly sort of an aggressive, like the Aries energy, but it's like you need it to be kind of like hard hitting and poignant, but just quick bite size, and then that will make you I always say repetition is the key to ownership. That will give you quicker insight to really get it and work it out. So yeah, so that's where I love the one-on-one. I'm telling you, I've worked with some people who are now doing readings, and I've taught my courses, and a couple of people in my courses are astrologers now. So it's so humbling, and then even for me, I had my astrology, I took classes with a bunch of different people, but my main astrology teacher, her name is Heather Elin. I had her on my show as a guest, so that was a full circle moment for me, and it was really great. So
That's incredible. Yeah,
yeah,
I do love how I don't know if you did this intentionally, but you did give me bite-sized pieces when we did our reading together.
yeah,
And one of them was you need to wear orange or red for your Aries and something about Aries and technology,
social media, yeah.
social media. So I was like, okay, so I was I got dressed today and I was like, I'm gonna wear my orange dress.
There you go. See, and it
Being
looks
that
good,
Aries.
and that's the thing, because it also the sign, right, Mars, when you wear like the red, the even like a burgundy or rust or orange or gold, it's letting you show up more authentically. And this is where I can really help people, right? Because even when I do business birth charts, oh my God, I've blown away some people's craniums where like, they're like, oh God, I got to rewrite this and that in my business, because the 11th house is the internet. The third house is social media. So that I always break it down like social media, this is how you may show up on Instagram and TikTok, right? And then the 11th house, that's our overall internet, but it's more long form. That's more like YouTube, Facebook, how you show up. And so the energies are different. So if you really kind of break it down like that, oh, you're raring to go. So you ready to you want to channel, or
Yeah,
or
I'd
do
love
you want
to. I would love
to?
to answer any questions that people have or anything that comes through. Phoenix did ask if we're set up to provide scholarships. We aren't quite yet, but if you want to send me an email, we'll definitely keep you in touch. And as we start to grow and shift and expand, this is our first course that we're offering,
Mm.
and we will be offering it 3 times a year. And
Phoenix, her and Rebecca are like dynamic duo, like just incredible. I've worked with both of them, and like, yeah, just amazing.
Yeah. And we always offer donation-based workshops as well, not just for channeling, but for other things too, right? We have another workshop coming up on I believe it's the 27th of I should know this. It's a
September.
Saturday. But it's in the link tree as well, where we'll be channeling about galactic lineages. It is
Mm,
so fun and so powerful. It's actually the third installment that we're doing, and it is to allow you to sit with the different energies. So part of learning how to channel is discernment and feeling into these different things and allowing these different energies to come in and sit with it. Like, what does a Pleiadian feel like? What does a Syrian energy feel like? What does a Venusian feel like? So these
I
energies
love
come
that.
in and we're channeling them and delivering these messages, and it allows you to sit with it. And so, by contrast, some of the things that I will bring in too are, bring in the dragons, bring in the grays, right? Bring in the reptilians, these energies to give us a full range of the gamut of light and dark, because we are everything, right? We're all trying to find that balance within. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, you
that's
got to
coming
do
up.
the shadow work, right? To heal, right? You got to push through. And I love how you connect and you kind of bridge the gap between the light and the dark and really help people, because there's not going to be real healing, you guys, if it's just all, oh my God, love and light. You got to go through the yuck and muck, because we have been inundated with so much subconscious programming, deceived and lied to since we hit this planet. We got real work to do. We got real healing, real Pluto, Chiron, Black Moon, Lilith stuff to heal and work through. So I want to ask you before you channel, and you guys, you can ask your questions in the chat, and Krissy can tap in for you. But also, what's been coming up lately? Like in any channeling you've done yesterday or today, what's been coming up in terms of how are we doing here? How is human beings and mankind doing with our ascension, whether it's through the Galactic Federation or different higher species? What messages have you received lately?
I feel like this is a segue into me channeling a collective message.
That's yeah, that's what I love. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. All right, who's coming through? We're gonna have. I work with a group called the Guardians. The Guardians are essentially beings who have elevated to 13th, 14th, 15th dimensional consciousness,
Mm,
and they kind of help and oversee the process of us embodying our Christos self. So they're going to come
mm,
through with a higher frequency message that's going to help everyone to kind of pull these energies in.
mm.
Thank you for allowing us to share this space with you. We are so appreciative of the platform to share, to enlighten, to allow all of you to understand that you are doing a beautiful job. It is important to remember that as the outward expression of the human collective is purging, you are all moving through the shadow, releasing it in order to embody your true self, your higher frequency self. As you individually begin to work through this process, the collective begins to clear. Gaia begins to ascend, to
Mm,
clear as well. This is happening on a multidimensional front, and it is important to remember all of this. We want to draw your attention to how the energy of your attention works and the power of it. Many feel that by not looking at painful occurrences that are happening here on earth, by not giving it your attention, by not feeding it, that you are removing it from its existence.
mm,
However, this is not exactly how it works. It is when you truly begin to understand that all aspects of this experience are valuable and are meant to move the collective towards higher enlightenment, it is only then that your true acceptance and unconditional love of all situations can enable the transmutation and shifting out of this state of negativity. It is through the embodiment, not the shunning, that you can create these shifts within your reality. As you shun things from your existence by ignoring them, you choose to prolong it. To shove it down further in the shadow makes it harder for you to integrate. As you are being asked to integrate your Christos self, to embody both the light and the dark, the black and the white rays, the energies of both balance. This is what you must do in order to understand that all expressions of humanity are that of source. When
Mm,
you recognize that, you come full circle. When you recognize that and understand that the pain is as important as the pleasure in this experience here, that is when you find the balance point of peace. Being at peace with all things happening. This is the state in which you find true inner heaven on earth, the true unwavering, centered point. You are all working through this, and there are many that are at the forefront of anchoring this in. It is important to focus on loving all aspects of yourself
mm,
for you to then be able to love all aspects of everything that exists around you. This is how humanity is elevating as a collective. So, to answer your question, humanity is doing exactly what it is meant to in this moment. It is evolving and shifting and growing exactly as it is meant to. And it is doing it beautifully because there are so many of you learning to embody your true self, learning to allow and accept all forms of existence here. The pain, the pleasure, the happiness, the sorrow, the longing, the loving, the existence of everything, the clearing is important as much as the embodiment of all of it.
mm.
We thank you so much for receiving this. And if you have any further questions, we would be happy to answer them, Eric.
Mm. I guess the question that I would ask right now, that I think the collective really is hungry to know, is will we have real worldwide like contact with alien species in the next few years?
It is important to understand that you are already in contact with
Mm,
alien species. This is
mm,
already existing and happening. Beings like the one who sits before you, channeling higher dimensional frequencies and energies, this is disclosure, this is contact, this is the
mm,
bringing forward of these messages. It is important for people to start to begin to understand that interdimensional frequencies and higher dimensional beings are coming through every day. They exist right alongside of you. They just cannot be seen because of the frequency of the patterns and the wavelengths of light that they exist upon. Humanity will begin to be able to experience more physicality of these beings and these energies because they are elevating in their own personal frequency. The more people that are able to access these higher frequencies of their physical vessel will be able to pull in more contact like experiences. There will be in 2027 an experience where humans will see essentially these frequencies on a screen, essentially as a holographic image of sorts. This process happens because as the beings and energies come into physicality through lowering their frequency, the energies become perceptible to human eyes. However, the physical effect on the human bodies can be challenging because of the differences. This is why many times when you hear recounts of abductions, there are always white lights and many times nausea and physical illness that comes with it because of this disconnect between the two energies. So, to answer your question, yes, there will be interaction between physical beings here, beings that have learned to reduce their frequency to be able to be in this location. They already exist around you, and many of them exist within your earth, within Gaia herself and the waters. It is time for people to start to begin to understand that these inner earth, inner terrestrials, these inner energies that are here are that of what used to be termed extraterrestrial in nature. It is the interdimensional being that people are waiting to appear and see with their human eyes. It is coming, but in a different way and in a different light. Does this help you to understand?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah. No, this is powerful.
It is exciting times, and it is the inner beings that people will begin to interact with more frequently, and beings such as what is deemed Bigfoot and these other creatures that live in the sea that people will begin to interact with, things that are already here. It will be made known that their consciousness is highly intelligent. If you look at dolphins and whales, these beings are not from here. They are those who are already highly intelligent and highly capable, competent beings. You have access to many beings already. You just see them always and don't communicate with them verbally. So many people believe that they are, simply animals. They are not.
Yeah.
We are grateful for you to give us this platform, and we would take any other questions at this time.
Well, I don't know. Are there any questions from the chat?
Wow, I just had to come back to say that was cool. That
Yeah,
was
I was gonna say.
it on like things, and such an interesting method in which they wanted to like come through about disclosure and contact.
No, I see, and this is the thing, and that's what I've been trying to get people to truly understand is that, and that's why I asked the question, because they're already here. They're beyond the ice wall. They're in the oceans, and what you were mentioning, even, or the channel was mentioning that, like other beings like Bigfoot, Sasquatch, but really fairies, mermaids,
Yep.
different things that, and a lot of times, some people don't realize you may see spirits or energies in the corner of your eye outside. I remember it was a while back, but I literally saw like a man in my backyard, and it's like during the day and I'm working, and I'm like, nobody's supposed to be there. So then I'm like, my wife's at home, the kids are at school, but in my head, I'm like, oh man, now I got to go and go be the man, right? And I was like, I'm ready to go out there. Like I might have to have a confrontation. I go out there, there's nothing and there's nobody,
Hmm.
but I know that I saw something. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. Like people, you're hearing voices, seeing things, this and that or whatever. And, you know, that's why I think it's important for people to really ground themselves and meditate, especially coming off this Pisces lunar eclipse, because as a Capricorn and for me as a Virgo, like when you take the time to kind of ground in the Gaia Mother Earth, right, and you tap into that vibration and that frequency, that Schumann resonance, it really kind of establishes that like I am a soul having this spiritual experience through this physical body. You've got to be in your body. So many people, and I know the water signs and especially Pisces, they kind of leave, they go, they escape. But at this time, we have to, stay with our spiritual practice and our discipline and all that. But we've got to come in and get the wisdom, the mycelium network, the trees, the plants. They hold so much. I mean, think of the tree of life. They hold so much wisdom and knowledge, and I think it's very important. That's that was something that was powerful.
That's cool. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's important for us to remember that we have been programmed, like you were mentioning earlier. We're programmed for all of this stuff with TV and all these things we're experiencing. We are programmed to think that alien contact looks a certain way.
Because of all the movies we saw, right?
That's it. We are programmed to believe that this is what it should be. This is what they look like. This is how it is. It's not that. It doesn't necessarily mean it's that because it's all around us already. We are experiencing it all already. Everybody here in this room has energies around them all the time, right? And
Well,
so,
it's the same thing with your ancestors that have passed away,
yeah.
right? I just lost my aunt recently, and I totally felt her energy a few weeks back. Like it was a couple of days after she passed, and I was doing some sort of spiritual reading with some people, and I saw my aunt, and she was like kind of like waving a hand towards me, and she was like going across some water, and she was good, and I was just like and I lost my mom years ago, and um, I feel her presence all the time, and so that's the thing that I think we sometimes get caught up because of different doctrines and texts and religions that like, oh, that's it, they're gone and you never see them, and that's just not true.
Yeah.
That's
It's
not true. The veil is very thin, and right now would you say it's probably thinner than ever?
So this is my perception of the veil and the way that it has been explained to me is the veil is not necessarily like this line, this barrier, right? That stops us, right? It is the dimensional frequencies, the differences between our perceptible dimension versus, the higher dimensions.
Yeah,
As humanity is increasing, as Gaia is increasing in frequency, all the humans on it are increasing in frequency. The reason the veil is getting thinner is because we are raising in frequency and getting closer to the next level of the next dimension, right? We've already shifted out of technically third density, right? We're elevating more and more. So while the veil is thinner, it's not going to thicken up again because we can't
yeah,
go back down in density where we just continue to elevate. So
yeah.
that's it, we're on an upward trajectory.
I love that you said that, but so let me ask you this then. What do you feel about the souls that have chosen to really stay in the 3D and in the matrix? And like I tell people, there's no spiritual arrogance here and none of that. But in terms of what they make, because I definitely know some people who I think that's their choice, and they have every right to choose it. That maybe they don't want to awaken, they don't want to leave the matrix, they love it, they're happy. Like, so what do you think they will be experiencing like 26 and 27?
They're going to be experiencing a little bit of a head shake, right?
Yeah,
And it's just going to happen because
yeah,
there are going to be things that keep dropping and landing about the collective, about the world, about the global, we'll call them global elites, about
yeah.
all of these things that have been happening
A lot
underneath
of
the
truth,
surface.
revelation. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, exactly. And so in these revelations, there will be people who will be like, that can't be true. Nope, I don't believe it. I choose not to believe it. And that's what they want. And that's cool. And that's the thing. 5D is not about being better than anybody. It's
Yeah.
about accepting the fact that everybody is allowed to have their experience and
Yeah.
they're choosing that experience, and you have, like, it's loving them unconditionally, understanding that there's an aspect of them that is necessary for your personal experience here. And so until we learn to love all aspects of everything unconditionally, those things will still exist to an extent, because when we're saying, when we're kind of flabbergasted, like, well, in 5D, when, like, everyone's better and everyone's it's not that. It's 5D, we just love everything, however it is. That's it. It's unconditional love. And so until we can truly level up, like, we level up by truly understanding that all of them are right. All of them are exactly where they're supposed to be, experiencing exactly what they're meant to. That shadow, all of this stuff is meant to experience unconditional love. And it's hard. It doesn't mean you have to approve of it, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
mean
Yeah.
to like want to do it, or it's just it is part of source, and it is necessary for the experience, for the embodiment of unconditional love. Because if you can't love the bad stuff and the shadow, and give hold space for that too, we haven't truly hit 5D. So that's probably the controversial opinion, I think,
No,
but
I listen, I kind
I
of
don't
agree
know.
because, I tell people I don't believe in any spiritual arrogance because, I've seen it happen with people, right? I could be like, oh, well, in Earth school, I'm doing pretty good. Maybe I'm in 10th, 11th, 12th grade, and maybe I've got a friend that's like totally proud to be in the Matrix and they're all plugged in and they're watching the Grammys and Oscars and MTV Music Awards and who's dating who and oh, Trump and Biden, this and that. And they're all just CNN and Fox and all plugged in, right? And they could have an awakening and a dark night of soul like October 1st. And then literally all the clairs come online. And then all of a sudden they go through this whirlwind. And by Christmas, they're like this spiritual guru, shaman, giant. I can't judge and say that that can't happen. It totally can.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where I tell people to hold space and don't write anybody off, and don't ever get into any spiritual judgment or arrogance because I don't care what anybody tells you, we just don't know. And so to me, I'm in the place where I'm always, like you said, holding that love and that agape Christ-like love, Book of Ephesians, right? That Venus Pisces exalted love. So you guys have any questions? I know this eclipse energy has been kind of rough. You want to ask Krissy anything? Please comment in now, and maybe you want to take a couple of questions, see if anybody in the
Yeah,
chat
sure.
wants to ask you anything.
Yeah, sure. I see Key 75 asked for general insight. She gave her birthday, so
Okay.
2/23/75, Sag rising. Uh,
223. Okay. That Pisces energy. Sag rising. Okay. You wanna go
Shall I
first?
jump in? Yeah, I'd love to. Okay.
Okay.
So, what's coming up for you is the idea that in this journey that you're on, you are working towards letting go so that you can truly embody yourself. So much of what they're kind of showing and bringing through is this energy of just release, of like shedding, releasing. It feels like the last week or so has been a lot of insight and coming to the surface, things that need to be, you need to walk away from, essentially. And it feels very people related, right? Sometimes there it can be career related, sometimes it's like more people related, and this feels very much like the energy of people in your space, people that you used to share bread with, right? And meals with, and these things. And you're getting to the point where it's like, I have to honor myself. You have to honor yourself, right, in this, and allow these transitions to happen. Your guides want you to understand that just because you pull your energy back from the kind of even family, it doesn't mean that you don't love them. It doesn't mean that they don't love you. It just means that you are at a place where you deserve peace. So
Mhm.
sit at tables where peace is given and where it's honored. That's super.
Mm. I like that. Set of tables, and I visualize that. So, Keys, number one, thank you and welcome. And yeah, right now you're dealing with these eclipses yesterday, and then on the 21st, your fourth and 10th house access. And so it's exactly what Krissy is saying, that, it could be whether it's people and friends you hang out with out in public, 10th house public image, your reputation, maybe even after work, friends or work or whatever. But there's something that if you're not being honored, that you need to cut and purge and release and separate from. And also, give yourself some credit with whatever you're doing out in public and your work life. You also got to remember to kind of pat yourself on the back. You're doing a better job than you think. And sometimes you may have to reimagine. Maybe you're taking a break and you're not working right now. A lot of people are in and out of work. That's okay. That's not like a blanket statement of who you are. And sometimes we have to use this energy to reimagine ourselves and really align more with our gifts and who we are. Remember, you've got Neptune and Aries in your fifth house. So maybe it is something for you to initiate. There is something new to spark off and be kind of brave and courageous and jump in it. And also you got to tap into the mother's lineage. Tap in, and things could be coming up with your mom, grandma, great grandma, and really connect spiritually, and take the time at home, whether you have crystals or sound bowls or you're doing toning, right? Or just grounded meditations, whatever it is. Take the time to increase your spiritual practice. Don't beat yourself up if you can't do a certain amount duration of time. But the key is to do every day, no days off, 7 days a week. So even if one day you could do 15 minutes, the next day you can only do 3, still get the 3 minutes in. It's worth it. Okay. And please, at this time, watch the frequencies and the music you're listening to. Maybe more instrumental music, whether it's jazz, classical, pop, hip hop. They got instrumentals everywhere. Try to separate from the lyrics, because that can seep into your subconscious mind. And I would get a water feature in the home. When you got Pisces in the fourth house, seeing water just flowing, you don't have to get a fancy one. You don't need the colors and the music and all that, but just water just spinning and flowing. That will help you with your spiritual practice and calm down the emotional mind.
That's incredible. And
Yeah.
one of the things I just want to hop in on this. One of the things you
Yeah.
told me in our reading was that when the reading you did for me was to start listening to more instrumental music. And so
Yeah.
I've been trying, I listen to the solfeggio frequencies a lot, but in my free time, I still like to listen to, all sorts of other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
We found this radio station that's like Baroque, like remix, right? And so it's this hilarious, not hilarious, but it's a reinvention of Baroque music, and it is so fun. My kids love it. There's one song
Um,
called Baroque Hoedown, and oh my gosh, if you need a laugh or like to like pick me
okay.
up, it's
I like
awesome.
that. I like that. But see, that's important, and we all can find different ways to connect and tap in. And when we do, remember with Uranus and Gemini, there's so many opportunities that literally just getting like a rainstorm in your crown chakra right now. And so frequencies and sound are always going to be pro for the healing if they're high vibrational and positive, or it could be really like energy vampires and very taxing on your spirit at this time, because they're draining you, bringing you into lower vibrations and frequencies. So be very conscious and aware of that. So I hope that helps you, Keys. And you want to see anybody else?
Yeah, we have so what else do we have on here? Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, Laura said that she's been seeing more beings in her forest. Yeah,
Oh,
it's been intense. The things
it's
all
a
come.
thing, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
It's been beautiful. Okay. Empowered awareness said her birthday is three, their birthday is 3678, Aquarius moon. Any general insight? So I'm gonna do a little channel.
Okay.
Let's see what your guides have to say.
What was the date? Three what? 312?
3678.
Oh, 3-6. The Pisces. Okay.
Funny story about your name, Empowered Awareness. What they're bringing up is truly stepping into this real powerful position that you have put yourself in. You
Mm,
are reestablishing who you are in your life. And it's okay to be a different person than you were yesterday.
Yep.
Stand in that power to change, stand in your power to become whoever you choose you want to be and show up as. Do not get stuck on your old perception of self. Old perception can even be yesterday, right? You get
Yep.
to choose every day who you want to show up, every hour, every minute, every second. So you don't have to allow that. You have a bad morning, just let it be. Let it go. That's it. You can
I
keep
love it.
going and keep moving and changing. So there's power in recognizing that you are a divine being, allowing that shift to happen and flow through you. And that's what your guides really want you to stress for you. Like, you can choose whoever you want to be right now. That's it. Just make the choice. Decide.
Mm, that's so that's so dope, and I love that. And she's an Aquarius moon, but she's a Pisces sun. I wish I knew her rising, but I tell you this: her Pisces sun is sort of in a trine to Uranus and Scorpio, so she's definitely psychic and empathic and extremely intuitive, and so she does have some karma to pay off to mom, and so there's some way that you can remember Aquarius is it's very detached. So there could be some detachments between you and mom, but as you get older and she gets older, you have to kind of pour some wisdom and knowledge on mom. That's what Aquarius is, the fixed air sign, but it's the water bearer. So you got to communicate some consciousness and knowledge. So maybe something that you've learned through your spiritual walk and journey, you've got to share it with mom, whether she's open to it or not. Maybe you just do it in bite sizes, but it's something that the Aquarius moons, I collect Aquarius moons at Coffee Talk, so you're always welcome to come, but it's a very powerful energy. And there is that karma. So you want to make sure you do that, because depending on what house your Aquarius moon's in, you definitely have something that you have to pay off to mom. And part of that is going to be guiding and teaching her. So as you grow and learn spiritually, maybe, and even if she's passed away, still write her a letter. Let her know what you're learning. That can be very powerful, just as powerful too. And with Uranus and Scorpio, you probably could be an extremely gifted Reiki master or energy healer, and just trust your gifts. With Pluto there, and I don't know what degree your moon's at, but Pluto's there to 2044. Your body, your health, your intuition is going through a deep change. Embrace the shadow work, do some detoxing, intermittent fasting, do a parasite cleanse, really become like, just like Krissy said, become the new version of yourself. Yesterday doesn't matter, but do it externally and internally. You've got to also realign and clean the gut and the chakras too. Okay. So I hope that helps. Oh, this
Yeah.
is fun. See, I like
Yes.
tag teaming with you. Is that we got another one before we have to say goodbye?
Yeah.
You want to do another one?
Yeah. Let's do flower power.
Oh,
So she says, my younger brother has been going through it in his marriage and home life. His birthday is 12/18/95. What does he need? He has 3 kids, 1 nonverbal autistic. So
ooh.
we'll do this
12,
basically
18?
12/18/95. Yeah.
Okay,
So
wow.
we'll do this maybe like a little bit more pulled back, because
Yeah,
for ethics, right? For reading for other people.
yeah.
But one of the things that is important is to understand that, especially with the son that is nonverbal, that can put a lot of stress and strain on relationships. As we've mentioned earlier in this session, people are becoming very telepathic. One
Yeah.
of the things that can be extremely powerful is the family embracing the energy and that connection between the son and the parents, right? So there's a strong connection between parents. Like these children choose to come in and incarnate with very particular parents,
Yeah.
and so much of it is about allowing them to embrace this energy, right?
The
And
parents have to know that they're built for it. A lot of times they stay in the ego and their fear, as if something's wrong with the child because they may be special needs. And I taught multiply severely disabled children for 10 years in the Bronx. And honestly, you guys, we just have to reimagine it, because in a lot of indigenous cultures, they look at those children as like a spiritual gift. Like a gift has come into the line and the lineage. And so we have to kind of change our eyes, right? These eyes will always lie to you and deceive you. look at that child. I know this is hard to tell you, brother, but look at this child with your third eye and see the magic. Because I had kids who were full-fledged in diapers, but they could play Beethoven and Bach and not ever been taught how to play it. Just hear it once and just like bang it out like a concert pianist. I mean, genius stuff. So Chopin and Thelonious Monk, all of it. And meanwhile, they're like, could barely eat and feed themselves and they're in diapers. But I'm serious. That's the type of population I was working with. So please don't ever, and I'm not saying that, your nephew is at that level. Maybe they're not. But we got to recognize the love and the beauty. And with him being 12, 18, 95 Sagittarius, and he's, probably early, 95. Yeah. So he's like, Gen Z, he's Pluto Sag. There's a lot going on, that he probably had, maybe both of you had with your dad growing up. There could have been a lot of stuff going on. And, when we have trauma, sometimes growing up, then it can come on to our children. And so he's got to go back and heal that in the lineage. So I would definitely recommend reaching out to Krissy or myself, get a birth chart reading. And thank you for coming. I think you may be new to the channel, so come back. And I always like to do a free reading, sun, moon, rising and stuff, but definitely come back and make sure you new people hit subscribe and hit the like button. We got to get a lot of likes for Krissy. So, okay. If you have time for one more, we do one more. And then before we say goodbye, because this is really great. And I think people are really are benefiting from it.
Yeah, that sounds great. So we have let's see. Okay. Sharon, hi, birthday is 10/11/73, Capricorn rising.
Ooh.
Oh, so
That Libra.
my guidance, please. Yeah. Do you want to take it or should?
Oh, no, you go first. You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. All right. So Sharon, the shift that's happening for you right now is so powerful in terms of the intuitive insight that you're starting to receive. Allowing yourself to truly embody this knowledge, this knowing, this claircognizance is so important. When you turn off that intuition, it affects your digestive system and it makes it that much harder for you to function. It's important, and you're not going to be able to turn it off, right? As you have in the past. It is important for you to really embrace these shifts and changes that are happening with your intuitive senses and become more familiar, confident, and allowing of it. It's like you are so tapped in, like straight to the head, right? And these things are coming online for you, Sharon, even more and more every single day. And so when you fight the knowing, right? When you try to stay with the program, we'll call it, it's causing this like chaos in you. And so the more you just allow yourself to follow, right? Follow those things that you're called to, follow the energy that's coming through and the messages, and follow your intuition, follow your joy and excitement. And when something feels off, it's off. Trust it. And that guidance is going to take you so far. I mean, you're so intuitive already.
Yeah.
It's just learning to listen to it and learning to embody it. And like, not all things look like, not all spiritual messages look like somebody standing in front of you talking to you, right? Some of them are just really internal. This is for everybody to recognize and know.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
of it's really like just within us and can be super powerful. So
I love that. And boy, you nailed that one, because she's dealing with this eclipse energy in her third and ninth house access. And, her sun is kind of probably in a loose conjunction to her Pluto. And so, she could have gone through a lot of stuff growing up as a child with her father and her family, whether, they were, very powerful or famous, or there was some sort of, things going on with dad, maybe alcohol, physical, verbal abuse, things like that. But, she's really here to push through the obstacles and then kind of bring harmony and peace to whoever she's around or work with to help transform other people's lives. Her soul is chosen to learn its life lessons through the lens and dynamic of relationships, whether it's her parents, her siblings, her children, her spouse. Maybe she gets married more than once. She's going to go through it all. But right now, exactly what you said, those spiritual gifts are coming online so big, right, in her third house in the community that she's really tapping in, and the clairs and different spiritual gifts can be coming online. This, Pisces North nodes there, and Saturn and Pisces, you need to have the healthy boundaries, right? No energy vampires, even with your younger siblings, cousins, neighbors. And you also have to allow yourself to embrace these spiritual gifts. Exactly what Krissy said, what's coming online. Because remember, the South Node's in your ninth house. So you're used to believing this. You're used to this is what this is, right? You compartmentalize with the Virgo brain there. You're like, well, I was a Catholic schoolgirl and I did this and then I did that, or, this and that. And this is the right way to do this. You got to let all that go. All that's out the window. That's all, programming from the Matrix. You got to embrace what's coming in now, what's new and what's next and what's coming online, and your gifts. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And, and definitely with the Libra energy, people will receive you in public. So you can be a very charming and peaceful healer as well. So I hope that definitely helps. So, oh my God, Krissy, this has been like, wow. I hope you guys have all kind of like chimed in, watched the replay from the beginning. Please do us a favor and leave a comment and stuff and share with everybody, because you also have something coming up with Rebecca, I believe in January, February. Please share with everybody if they want to sign up for, you've got a retreat in Egypt, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We have it's a 10-day retreat in Egypt. We're going to be visiting the pyramids in Cairo. We'll be taking a cruise along the Nile on a dahabeah, which will be absolutely magical. The stops that are planned for along the route are going to be extremely transformative. And then we end up in Luxor, where, the Temple of Ascension is there. The etheric Temple of Ascension is in Luxor. So it's going to be very powerful, very transformative for everyone in presence. And we will also be doing a lot of channeling, but a lot of activation, a lot of grid work. And it's really about embodying your true self, going home to remember all of these things, because if you're called to it, you've probably been there before.
Probably had a past life in Kemet,
Yeah,
in Egypt, yeah.
exactly. I also have an event coming up at the end of October, October 25th and 26th. It's a weekend in Sedona where super exciting, not too far from you, Eric.
Yeah.
And it's going to be opening you up to channel, deepening your connection to your spirit guides, to your abilities, to your connection to the other side, and to bringing in more information. So it's whether you're new to channeling or an experienced channeler, it's geared towards creating a wider channel, a more stable channel, so that you can really anchor these energies in. We'll be partnering with David Starfire. He's an incredible DJ. He's a conscious DJ. He does all of the tracks for Ram Dass meditations. And so he'll be there having a dance party on Saturday night, but we'll also be doing a journey together on Sunday afternoon to help everybody kind of slip into this beautiful meditation and sound bowls, and then he'll slip into one of his new albums that he's just releasing. It'll be a really exciting trip.
Well, let me tell you, you guys may come across some of the blue beings, because I've been in Sedona a couple of times, and I know last time my wife and I were there, I met some some of the blue beings that are pretty well known in Sedona. So be prepared for that, and anybody that comes, Sedona is something else. Now, yes, it's been getting oversaturated and commercialized, but you have to understand that's the people. It's the location, right? The vortex is there. The grid, the power lines. These are portals, and these energy pockets are powerful. So, yeah, Sedona is still just like Mount Shasta. These are places where you're going to experience and feel some different things. That's what some of these people don't get. A lot of the wars, you guys and Krissy, are really about stargates. You know what I mean? Whether it's Iraq, Iran, different places in the world, it's about who controls these energy portals and these stargates. Okay. That
Absolutely.
will make you think about war games and the chess pieces that they move all the time a little bit differently. It's not religion and oil. A lot of it is about the portals and spiritual stuff. Okay. So it is always 5D chess.
That it is, right? When we look at the Mediterranean, and it's all over the what's going on in the Mediterranean and Ukraine. There's a massive Stargate there. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about
Yeah, it's never what they make us think it is in the press. It never is, okay?
never it is. Are the blue beings the Kachinas?
To be honest, I don't know. They were like these little, they were like, you were like making
Oh,
sounds.
little guys,
Yeah,
little
the
guys.
little blue beans. Yeah, I mean, it was wild. It was so clear as day, and my wife and I saw them, and but I wasn't afraid or anything. It was just like, I was like going to sleep, and I heard them. They were like, but they kind of came through like a beetle, because there was a beetle that kept flying in the room. It was wild. Like it was powerful.
That is so cool. I can't wait.
Oh no, it's I got to tell you, as a native New Yorker, and I'm a city kid, and I moved out to Arizona in 2011. New York never saw anything, nothing. And I know sometimes you can upstate New York, in the city, nothing. When I moved to Arizona, I've seen UFOs and beings, and I mean, it's wild. So it's really fascinating. But this was so much fun. Oh my God, Krissy, you'll have to come back again. We'll have to do more channeling and readings. This was really great. And I love, just how we kind of like tag team. That's exactly how Rebecca and I do it. So it's like really cool to see that, we could connect the same way like that. It's beautiful, you know.
This was amazing, Eric. Thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm so excited we got to do this. And yeah, it was a lot of fun doing the back and forth and I have no idea of astrology, right? You so to be able to like really see the tangible things that are happening in someone's life, like psychically, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, yep, it like
And it
but
aligns. Yeah.
thing like, yeah, this is exactly what's
No,
happening.
it's so deep, and
Wild.
it's kind of mind blowing. And I love when I connect with, channelers and psychics and stuff, because it's like, as an intuitive astrologer, it's like, yeah, I know it astrologically, but it's like I also feel it and I tap in. I'm a Scorpio rising. And so it's like when we can kind of come and link together, it's just that much more powerful for the audience and for the people. So I thank everybody for coming today. Please go follow Krissy. Now, also tell them your website so they can go and book readings with you. And
Sure.
tell them the type of readings that you offer.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. So my website is enlightenedchannels.com. You can find it again in the link tree
Yeah.
in the comments. If that everything's on there, there's this big old button for booking one-on-one sessions. But so I do channeled readings. I do spiritual path sessions, which are
Mm.
sessions where I'm channeling your guides, your higher self, your energies to help you acclimate on this spiritual journey that we're all on, right? So some of the times we'll be tapping in on every time we're tapping in on how you can connect more deeply with your guides and how you can receive more information, because, we're all spiritual beings on this experience, and it helps you to kind of figure out how you can align. Are you meant to align in your 3D job and bridge communities? Are you meant to leave your 3D job? Are you meant to, embrace things? And it's really helpful to look at different aspects of your shadow work that need to come through and that are coming to the surface.
Yeah.
So it's a really powerful way to keep moving forward on your journey. I also do energy healings, mentorships to help you really tap in and connect with your own personal gifts and bring this all full circle. So that's me in a nutshell and the offerings that I have. And again, we have the channeling school that is coming online in September. Next
Mm.
week, actually, a week from today, we'll be starting classes September 15th. And it's
Okay,
going to
go
be,
sign up. You will not, her, Rebecca together. I'm telling you, you guys don't want to miss this. Okay.
yeah, we're super excited for it. It's going to be a really great experience. And so we hope
Oh,
you guys can make it.
I'm so excited to hear that. This has been so much fun. And I knew we've been kind of planning this for a little bit, but we finally had to meet. and we were both so busy over the summer. And then we finally connected. And then look, the magic, it always happens in divine timing. I love it. So
That's it.
I'm
That's it.
so excited, my friend. And this has really been so much fun. You guys, thank you for watching episode 378. I may come back on Thursday evening early, like 6:30, 7 p.m. Kind of, talk a little bit more this Virgo season and Virgo energy, talking about Venus and Mars and Virgo. But also remember, come watch me Wednesday on my birthday. I will be on Numbers and You on YouTube with Lloyd Strayhorn, famous astronumerologist, and we'll be kind of talking about the eclipse energy. But he said we're also going to talk about you. We talk about me, so we get to talk a little bit about Eric, which I guess I'm always used to asking people about themselves. It's different because when people are asking me about me, it's not that I don't like it; I love it, but it's just kind of like it's a different hat, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. It's so exciting.
I
Can't wait to
embrace
do
it and I look forward to it. And you are always welcome here, my friend. And just thank you for the work you do. But honestly, I'm going to say this and give you some flowers and a compliment because it's true. What I like, I interview and I'm around and work with so many different modalities and spiritual people, gifts out the wazoo all over the place. And I see it in the chart, And so I see not only your gifts in the chart, because when you have that Capricorn sun in the 12th house, you really do tap into having a spiritual business and building that legacy through there and connecting to people all over the globe. But also, Krissy has that teaching, mentoring heart. That Sag moon in the 11th house, you guys, really working with Krissy over the internet. The way that you speak, it's so clear. And, as a Capricorn, I know you're, disciplined and structured and organized, but it's like you really bring things out of the spiritual and the ethers and bring it down into the physical, practical reality in such a beautiful way. So it's a skill and a gift. So I want you to always acknowledge it and recognize it because I see it and I also appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you so much, Eric. That means the world to me. It's grounding. How do you ground spirituality? That's my
I know.
mission.
Listen, Capricorn's doing well. I'm gonna tell you, Capricorn's doing well, and I feel like as a Virgo, I try to do it pretty well for the collective as well. But that's one thing that can help Earth signs, right? To tap in spiritually, but then to bring it into the physical, tangible, Earth and experience, which then you can share and teach and guide to other souls and other spirits. And so, I thank you for doing that work. And we all at this time have got to show up because everybody in the audience, you guys are all gifted too. So please, if you need guidance into recognizing or seeing your gifts, reach out to Krissy or myself. But never, think you're small or less than. We're way bigger than we can ever imagine. We really are. So. All right, you guys. Thank you, Krissy. This was so much fun.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Make sure you come back and leave a comment. Help the show grow in algorithms and hit like and go follow Krissy on all the socials, IG, TikTok, and YouTube. All the links are down below. All right.